Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Yeah, though. Yeah, though. Yeah.
So basically, it was more so I didn't want to like take the round table where you're giving so much value to the community and your trading experience, etc., and then turn it into this.
I appreciate that.
This one title, right?
I asked him actually. I was like, "What is the topic? Is it females in trading?" I was like, "No, of course not." I was like, "Okay."
Place on yourself.
Yep.
Period.
Yes.
I was going to ask her. Well, my plan was not to go into any sort of female trader angle because very
Why not?
similar.
Oh, it's
That's why
okay.
we're here. We're gonna shed some light.
No, what I meant, this is what I was gonna say. Basically, it was more so I didn't want to like take the round table where you're giving so much value to the community and your trading experience, etc., and then turn it into this. Just
I
this
appreciate that.
This
I
one
have to
title,
say,
right?
yeah.
I asked him actually. I was like, "What is the topic? Is it females in trading?" I was like, "No, of course not." I was like, "Okay." Yeah.
Felt like I was about to get attacked. But no, the reason why was because of that. Because just as Nahal said there, like no, the market doesn't do that, right?
Yeah.
And you have more value to give than like, I don't do it to the guys. I don't go like as a guy trader. How does it make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But equally, as you brought up there, someone said that to you, where it's like
did.
they don't want to teach. And when I've had other female guests on, even when it was a female, she used to own a prop firm, and people would be like, "Of course it failed. She's a woman." And I just didn't understand the mentality that's out there, and these thoughts. But you know, one thing I was going to ask you, especially the ones who have education, for example, is like, do you see any differences in your audience, your students? Are they mainly female? Or is it
They
just a wide
used
range?
to be. So they used to be women until like everyone saw that they were winning, and then people were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just showing them what I do." You know, like what else? And it took actually it took a pretty well-known guy like with a big social media presence took my training, and his trading like he started making. He actually was one of my. I have only like 4 7-figure traders. He was one of my 7-figure traders, and
wow.
people saw. Yeah, like he's amazing.
Casually.
But he, shout out to Khalid. Khalid just gave me the utmost respect and was always like, he always would tell people, I learned from her. So when he opened that door and people were like, I want to do what he's doing, and he's like, go to Jess, I'm not going to try to teach you, like, go to her. It made it okay for men to come to me. Now I think I have more male students. I have some women and they're amazing, but I do have a lot. Like, I do not play. So it's always, and I don't ask them to do this, but Jessica, all right, Coach Jess, all right, Coach. There's a respect there between us, and they know I'm about my business. My job is to get you where you need to go. You're either here with me and we're doing it, or you can get out and stop wasting my time, because my time is money. And I make it very clear. So the men that come to me, they have a goal. Like, they're trying to they got things that they need to do. They need someone that's going to get straight to the point, and there's no lollygag. You know, like, we don't do any of that. So it's taken years, but thanks to Khalid opening that door for me, I would say. The first male that openly was like, I learned from her. She taught me this. And then ever since then, it's been great. I have kids too. Like, kid traders, not like me having kids. But like, yeah. So I will help anyone, but I don't have that whole he versus she thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I think I've got probably more men students than I do women students. And I think I never had a point where I had mostly women. And I think that's maybe because, and this is something that I struggle with even like recently, is I wonder, like, I've got leverage to where I have a following to where I can, bring more women into this. And then it makes me wonder, like, do I need to change my like content to be more like girly pop friendly, you know what I'm saying, to make it less intimidating? And I feel like I've always gone back and forth with that, and I think if I did, it just wouldn't be genuine. It's not, I'm trying to be just like you, essentially, like, just to the facts.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to curate it in a way, like, yes, I want to make it understandable and tangible, but I just don't know if that was just something I always wondered. I was like, do I need to change the way that I present myself to be more appealing to the female audience? And I think maybe if I had done that, I would have brought more women in.
I think you are. So? Yes, absolutely. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I think that you are very appealing to a female audience. I think that you portray yourself, and the information that you give is very simple, straight to the point. I mean, I could sit here and say a lot of great things about you because I am a fan of you. Like I respect what you're doing for the game. So I think women, if anything, are maybe intimidated. I think that could be it. But I feel like you will have one student that is going to give you the testimonial that you need, and that's going to open the floodgates for other women to come.
Yeah, true.
So I feel like just keep being yourself. Like like you're purple. Even like you're purple. It makes a female feel welcome to your page. So I don't think that you need to.
I appreciate
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I'd say mostly men though for the students.
For me, I'm not sure. I never really took a deep dive into that to see. I would say I had more female, I think, than male, because the females always reach out and say that, oh, I'm coming to you because you're a female. So a lot of the time I feel like I have more females, but I'm like you also. I'm more like hammer to the table. Like I don't play. If I say, hey, this is what it is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm not going to whisper sweet nothings in your ear and say, hey, it's okay. No, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very difficult for me to be a mentor. I'll be super vulnerable with you guys now. It's very difficult because I used to watch Raja's live streams. And Raja would be on there and like, you idiot, what are you doing?
I remember those days, yeah.
And if I used to trade live on YouTube, and I would say, people would ask me the most ridiculous questions, and I'd be like, bro, why are you asking me that dumb question? And they're like, you just call that man dumb, what's wrong with you, that's so mean. And I'm like, wait a minute. Raja just called them a stupid idiot 5 minutes ago. No one said anything.
Yeah.
But because you're a female, they expect you to be tender and coy all the time and whisper and hold their hand.
I'm not the one.
And it's like, this is trading. This is money. This is business. This is time. I am not your mother. It's not my job to coddle you here. I'm telling you, if I tell you something, it's because it's what it is. And that's what you need to do. It's not because I want to be mean or I want to belittle you or make you feel, insecure in what you're doing. So I feel like it's difficult for women because they expect us to be a certain type of way, just like you feel like, oh, I have to change how I am to appeal to them because they're not gravitating towards me enough, when you might not be doing anything wrong. It's really them. It's that person. If they feel some type of way about you as a person, it's an insecurity they have within themselves that they haven't dealt with yet, a burden they haven't, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of make us feel like we're doing something wrong. That gaslighting where it's like, did I really say this wrong? And you're making me question, what am I doing to make you so mad? When in reality, you're coming to me for the knowledge. So it's not easy. It's not easy. It's very mentally draining. Even though you say you're not competing with the guys, they're making you feel as if you are. Because they're constantly reminding you of that. I've had people, and I'll let you go after this, take my trades that I've either helped them with or given to them and tag a male trader and say, thank you to that person.
That has happened to me so many times.
And I'm like, wow, thank you. I'm not going to say names, but thank you to this trader. Thank you to that. And I'm like, you can't even say anything. Because it's like, you know what? We know what's really up. You know what's up. So you kind of have to take it on the chin and just say, you know what? If I helped someone today, I did my job.
But I kind of don't get it. It's like an ego thing. Like, oh, I don't learn from a female or a girl. Like, no, she can't be better than me. Is it like an ego thing? Because I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm willing to learn from male, female. I don't care. Like,
When you make money, I'll learn from you.
One thing I was just thinking just then is, because they say things like I said, those comments I've seen before. It's like, oh, she's a girl, she can't earn them. Of course that business is going to fail, for example.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking right then, like, more than likely, where it could stem from, ego being one, but also how many guys have an example of a successful woman? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I've had it. My mom was super successful, and an incredible person. So I've always had that example. And it does come down to upbringing as well, but maybe that's what it is. Because just as simple as, the limiting belief that people might have because they don't have that example of themselves, so that whether it's the image or the gender, whatever. Maybe that's where it stems from.
Well-
They can't see it being possible because they've never seen it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
say it on Twitter too. I'm like, don't put your trauma on me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm like, Twitter, me on the internet and me in person are two different people. Like in the trading world, I feel like I have no other choice but to have like all my armor on because it's constant attack. And it's like, you know what? If you actually just listen to the value that I provided,
Yeah.
it could probably help you, but it doesn't feel like, especially Twitter. Twitter is like,
Twitter's crazy.
oh my gosh. It's just,
If you're a
I
new
feel like I always
trader-
have to be like defensive.
Yeah,
and I'm
don't
like,
go on Twitter if you're a new trader. Thank you.
It is
If you get
not
anything
for the
out of that.
weak.
It's not.
They
Yeah.
really don't think females can trade.
It's I got advice from a friend of mine, a good friend of mine who trades, and he said the reason why most guys can't look up to a female trader who trade is because they can't see themselves in that woman. They can see themselves in another man who's doing something
That's a
great,
valid
but
point.
it's hard. So they might not, like, they're not going to down the woman because of it, but they gravitate more towards the other guy because I want to be that guy. I want to be like him because I'm a guy.
You know what's hard though too? Women, for some reason, it's really hard for some women to ask other women to help them. Like I have to make sure I go above and beyond to be welcoming to women because they're like, I was so afraid I didn't want it to get catty. And I'm like, catty? You know? Like, what? Yeah. No, like this is a learning environment. You can sit here and ask questions pertaining to trading. So women also get very like nervous and scared sometimes, especially like I have a really strong personality, so I understand that, but I'm a coach. I have to learn how to be a chameleon and adapt to different personalities. And I teach in 80 countries. So there's different cultures that I'm dealing with. So I have to, like, I've learned to just kind of like, you know, simmer down a little bit and you'd be like, okay, what was that, or whatever. But women too, they have a hard time sometimes asking for help. So,
I think what it boils down to is what we said. It's like the data. Focus on the data, the results. Focus
Yeah.
on what actually the skill set more than anything else. And I think things from when I started trading, things have drastically changed. Like there's all of you here, let alone obviously there's a lot more coming. And those changes are great, you know. And I think representation is representation and example is such an important thing. You know, so like this table, someone made a joke when I did the round table with Q and Raul and these guys. It was like, they said South American, a black guy, a Chinese guy.
it was diverse. I saw that too.
Yeah, the white guy going to the bar.
I liked it. I watched it
Outside.
yesterday. It was
And we've done it again.
We're very diverse today.
Which is incredible. But it's so important. It really is, because I think there's a huge power in when you see someone who looks like you or seems like you or similar background or age, whatever it is, because it's an example now. Now you have no excuse or less of excuses, because it's like, well, they did it. And that's why I feel like podcasts are so great. And then the new thing that we're doing with this documentary thing is like, when you know that person's story, then you hear them in terms of like, oh, actually they went through this, they went through that, they struggled with this outside of trade. Yeah, and then now look at where they are. Look at the life they live, or how their mindset has changed, or how their mindset is. It makes a huge difference, and that's why I love doing these things, especially roundtables. I always love them because you all interact with each other. I don't really have to do much, to be fair, which is great. But you all interact with each other, and through that, your own perspectives, and everyone else then learns so much as well.
Yeah. Relatability. Is that a word? Because I just made it a word.
I do that all the time. That's my thing. I make up words all the time. My wife will.
Mic, mic check, mic check. Wait. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, check. Alright, so what was I about to do? I just connected that. Chat should still be able. Yeah, chat can still hear me fine. But when I click play, should be able to hear this outside. There we go.
What I was going to ask actually, was interesting, is risk to reward.
I'll move this.
Is that something that you focus on as part of your strategy? Is that something that is, do you have like a minimum benchmark? I know you mentioned 1 to 3.
1 to 3. I mean, there occasionally 1 to 2. You know, sometimes that's what it is. That is statistically the highest probability setup is a 1 to 2.
I think it's funny because I'm pretty sure like Umar preaches our art, and obviously I'm gonna take whatever he says and be like, whatever you say, yeah, you've got the results to back it up. And maybe that's why I'm only where I'm at, he is where he is. But with that being said, I don't even trade with him. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not gonna even tell me what that is. And like when I get into a trade, I'm trying to stay in for the entirety. So the take profit is not like I don't know what it's gonna be. Like I gotta get in that trade and see how long we're trending for. And maybe that's a hard concept to grasp. Maybe that's why, you know, I don't judge. It's just it's an interesting thing. I think everyone has their own, that can probably lead to the next question. I think everyone has their own strategy, and if it works for you, then it works for you. But I've definitely gone through some mega insecurities, like comparing my strategy to others and what I know about trading compared to others, and I'm like, being in the position that I'm in, I did have to do the research just to have like an intelligent conversation, just to be like, okay, I have to overcompensate so that I can get you guys to understand that this is why my strategy works, so that I can go all the way around in circles with you guys to bring it back down to, okay, I'm just trying to stay in for the entirety of the trend. So the